everybody, welcome live to the show on the Gauche. I'm your host, Zaiden, and I got with me some cool guests you're going to want to listen to today. We got an interview with an author based on a book, The Return to Ishmir, with Dave. We're going to also have a special guest that I'll be introducing all of you in just a moment. And of course, we're going to have our lovely Gina, my wonder wife. Welcome her to the set in just a moment. But what I'm going to say is we're going to have a great show today. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, notification bell you just saw pop up on there to keep this channel growing and this community going. But going to be a lot of fun, guys. I'm going to also send out the link tree, which has everything you need to keep this thing going. It has every link for donations if you choose to go that route. We also have a super chat option, which this channel is not monetized yet. But there is a link for Streamlabs, which actually allows you to place a comment, which will be guaranteed read on our live stream today. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. Hey everybody, welcome again to the channel of the Gauche. Of course, there's going to be some speculation stuff we'll be talking about today, but also maybe even a spoiler warning. We might be talking about some things in a book we'll be talking about in a moment that could be of interest. So stay tuned for that. And of course, if there's any stuff we talk about that could be a little bit off the bandwagon trail, it could be a little graphic in language. So there's that warning as well. But of course, we have to push this stuff because YouTube is always looking to see if we are doing the stuff correctly per YouTube standards. So it is what it is. Anyhow, let's go ahead and get right to it. We're going to go ahead and put our guests on. Let's go ahead and introduce them. Here we are. We have none other than Gina. We have also Dave, aka PC Tech Radio, which is our author for The Return to Ishmir, and our special guest, Max. Welcome to the show. How is everybody doing? Start with Max. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys today?
Are great. Gina, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. And how about you, Dave? Mr. PC Tech Radio.
Good. I'm doing good. I've just been playing through Assassin's Creed Valhalla at the moment, so I've been enjoying my day.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. All right. So obviously the topic of discussion today is about your fantastic book, sir. I want to ask some questions, and of course, anybody that wishes to have a question themselves, you can. I'm keeping it pretty much to the comments. If you wish to go through that Streamlabs link for, we'll call it the super comments, those will also be read live, guaranteed. So, all right, so let's go ahead and turn the page. One of my favorite music songs of all time. Max knows about that.
Many karaoke nights.
Karaoke nights. Great times.
That's a go-to.
All right, PC Tech, I'm going to go ahead and start with you, my friend. This book, Mr. Dave, I'm going to go ahead and actually not only put you on here, I'm going to put on both you and the book, because this book is amazing.
Thank you. It took a long time to write it, by the way. I actually had to go back to the original handwritten stuff that I did. I actually published it, self-published it in 2018. No, in 2000, sorry. So I'd spent about a year writing it before that, and up until now, it's gone through 5 revisions. So it's been a long time.
Fantastic. So I got to ask you, what inspired you to start writing?
It was actually going to be a D&D campaign.
I knew it. Sorry.
Yes.
Me and Gina had a hunch on this because it felt like a D&D little bit of a feel to it. And it was so good because I was like, man, I want to roll initiative right now.
Yeah. I said, if a narrator ever needs a little help on their game, just open this book and you'll go from there. The story will be great.
It's fantastic, dude. All right. So go ahead. Sorry, don't mean to interrupt you.
This was going to be a D&D campaign that I was going to play with some friends. But it didn't materialize. So I had folders worth of stuff that I left with a friend because I wasn't going to DM it. I was going to play as Max and Alexandra. Spoiler alert, that's the protagonists. But basically, it didn't materialize. And my friend basically said, look, I've got these folders cluttering up my space. Can I send them to you? I said, well, what is it? He goes, it's the D&D campaign I was going to run for you. And I went, yeah, send them. So he sent them up to me. And then as I was reading through it, I was inspired by the original D&D, like Ravenloft and stuff like that.
Right.
And I've always been a bit of a nerd. So that's where it originally comes from. And, you know, and to make matters worse, in 2015, I got into Critical Role. Now, this is something that I haven't talked about, and nobody's going to see it because I can't. I've actually written a Critical Role version of all 3 books.
Oh, that's cool.
It integrates. Well, I can't even give spoilers because I actually have to send it. I'm actually going to be sending it to Matthew Mercer, the DM of Critical Role.
Okay.
Because obviously it's their IP. So if they don't want to go ahead with it, then they don't have to. But there is a Critical Role version of the book.
So it's yet to come to fruition regarding. Oh, it's lightning over here. Sorry, guys. So it's like a premonition, if you will, before it actually becomes published of what this role is, right?
Yeah. It basically, when I got into Critical Role, it combines certain elements of their campaign 1 and their campaign 2 for the Critical Role version of the book. This version of the book, it's all out of my imagination. It's far out of left field, and I'm just hoping people enjoy it for what it is.
Awesome, man. So I want to dive into this book for a moment. I noticed. Give us a preface or a prologue to introduce us into the story of the Return to Ishmere. The legend begins. Give us an epic intro.
Okay, an epic intro. It's
whatever you want to call it.
I'll try my best. It's basically a kingdom that was overrun by evil. It was the 2 protagonists get away with their mother and a few other people, and it's their journey to retake Ishmere, basically. With a lot of things that happen along the way.
So there are some characters that stood out to me in this book that I thought were pretty interesting. Obviously, the first chapter was really cool. It kind of prefaced something to come with a little bit of family stuff. Dynamic, yeah.
Yeah.
But really what I liked how you did is set up the preface to a brother and sister in this story that really kind of was bound to each other. Tell me a little bit about those 2.
Basically, Alexandra is the eldest of Max and herself. So she was a little bit older than Max when the kingdom of Ishmere fell. And she's always been a protective older sister to her brother. So that's the dynamic that I wanted to put across in the book. and I'm hoping it did come across that way. And of course, there's still the fun moments of sibling rivalry as well. So
I did love that. That was a great dynamic, by the way.
Yeah.
So what was really interesting? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Zaiden. Sorry.
No, that's what I liked about it was the dynamic, because Alexandra was the eldest of the two, and she kind of had this task of trying to look over her brother, which the little brother Max has a very important role going forward in the story.
It's a scary one as well.
Yes, it is scary too, and that's what I liked about it. Is there was a lot of it kept me reading, dude. I honestly was like, oh wow, this is like,
that's great. You're
tugging my heartstrings, bro. I liked the chapter introducing them. There's this escape that takes place where I won't say who specifically, but someone comes near their doom. But there's that brother-sister dynamic, which is it had excitement, it had the comedy and suspense all in that chapter, which I was thrilled to read that.
That's what I wanted to try and put across. When I set out writing it, I didn't want to put across doom and gloom constantly. There had to be certain dynamics within the book to make it be a page turner from my perspective.
I would say it became a little bit of our date night. We were actually reading it out loud to each other, or like taking turns going back and forth. So it was fun.
Yeah,
it was so good.
That's good. That's great to hear, man. It's awesome.
So I gotta listen. First, go to the comments real quick out here. How many of you actually? I saw somebody said they picked up one of the books. I'm not sure who, but does anybody have any questions they would like to ask regarding Dave's book? And while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and log into Streamlabs here and see if there's anything going on there. Any other comments you want to put towards this, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, did you get to the battle yet?
Yes.
Did you see...
We'll get there. As far as questions.
Oh, okay.
But if you have a comment about it, go ahead, man. I'd love to hear your feedback.
Well, you know how... I don't want to give any spoilers, because
sure.
That scene between Max and Alexandra, the reason why I wanted to write it like that is because that scene actually made me cry, and I was writing it.
So
and that scene I actually gave to a friend of mine, and his immediate response was, "Dude, you cannot do that." I went, "I'm writing it. I'm doing it." So I was determined to do it no matter what.
Yeah, but I can understand why.
There is because I'm writing the second book at the moment, and I'm hoping to have it out in December. But there is going to be a really big twist coming at the start of the second book.
Yeah, I am really looking forward to that, because it really okay. I'll say this: the last chapter I read has some twists, and everybody, you gotta read. If you haven't read this book yet, the last chapter has a twist to it, and I'll let you, if you want to add to that, Dave, I will let you do that. I'm just gonna leave it there for if you want to add anything to it.
All I will ask you and Gina, Zaiden, is did you see that twist coming?
I had a hunch, only because wouldn't it be cool if blank, or I should say, would it be interesting if blank happened? And I'll be honest with you, I honestly, I did and I didn't. It was kind of like a pleasant surprise.
But when you read it, wasn't it a gut punch?
Yes, because there's such an emotional build-up for these two characters. And I won't tell you specifics as to, obviously we don't want to give too much away, but there's very emotional things that take place in these last two chapters that, like, you wish a certain somebody knew something before something happened.
Yeah.
It was a gut punch in so many ways. It was that good. It was that good.
But I didn't want it to be like your normal fantasy. We've had the bad D&D movies before.
Oh yeah.
I didn't want it to be along that vein. So I wanted it to express more emotion with the characters that were involved.
You did a good job on that. Honestly, there was a good dynamic of emotion, comedy. Like I said, the suspense was in there. This kept me going through the book. So it was hard for me to stop because obviously I had a lot of things going on, getting things ready, but over the weekend. And I was like, I did not want to stop reading this book because it was good. I can't say enough about this. This is a fantastic read, my friend. Is there any questions in the comments or anybody that wants to post any comments, go ahead, or questions, or anybody on the panel? That means panel as in Max or Gina.
I'm just going to have to read the book. I mean, your guys' back and forth is having cracking up. It's like, what did you think about this? Well, I can't really give it away, but it's amazing. It's awesome. Do you remember when so-and-so did this to so-and-so? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I'm going to just have to read it because I have no idea. I'm so lost right now. But it's right up my alley with what I enjoy. I love kingdoms. I love like downfalls. I want to see people rise up and conquer. And
it's got that, Max. It's got that. But the other surprise thing is I've actually turned it. I actually did a screenwriting course in 2020, and I've actually written the screenplay for it to try and get it in a movie, to be made into a movie.
That's awesome.
I can see that.
Definitely, after I read this, I'm going to want to see the live action version of it.
Well, put it this way. I've sent it off to majority of the major studios. They've all rejected it. I'm still waiting to hear back from Johnny Depp's production company.
Oh, that would be cool. I can see him picking up something like this.
Well,
yeah, that's awesome.
I want Johnny Depp as part of the cast.
Also can see him doing this as an actor.
I want him to play the bad guy.
Oh, yeah, that would be fantastic. Look, guys, I'm geeking out already just by this mention because he would play a good bad guy in this.
And to play Max and Alexandra's father, I want Adrian Paul.
Ooh.
And to play their mother, I want Kate Beckinsale.
That's a great cast. I mean, I hear Johnny Depp's looking for work, so I mean, he should, pick this option up.
Well, he did say on his MTV
quick MTV award mention. Yeah.
He'd do parties, bar mitzvahs, and things like that, didn't he? So.
Yep. Oh my God, that was funny.
We just need to bombard anything that is related to Johnny Depp so he can take a look at this.
He would be fantastic. I would love to see him direct and maybe even act in a movie like this because that's right up his alley. I kind of feel like he's got the gauche, if you will, part of him in this movie, which I like about it.
He's also a method actor, so can you imagine how far he could take that character?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That character's pure evil.
I've got goosebumps thinking about it, Dave.
I can give you a hint on the Critical Role version of the book. That character, if you're a fan of Critical Role, that character is actually Max. He is. In this book, he's actually Max and Alexandra's uncle. That's a spoiler, but in the Critical Role version of the book, he's Silas Briarwood. And now, if Temp's in the chat, he'll be screaming his head off because he knows who I'm talking about.
Look, of course, I'm going to bring up a shameless plug, of course, for Critical Role, but it's pretty much spot on. I kind of like the again the dynamic integration, if you will, or the parallel, I'll call it, to a lot of this. I love the D&D feel to it. I love the storyline, the dynamics, like I said. It was really a good book, Dave. I have to applaud you, sir, for a great, well-written book, my friend.
Thank you, Zaiden. It took me 5 goes because each time I would take it down, put it back up, because I was changing things in the story itself. And then when I did the screenwriting course, as I completed the screenplay, there was things that I added in the screenplay that weren't in the book. So in reverse to that, I added them into the book, and that became this version of the book.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Carrie is asking how or where can we get your book?
It's available on Amazon. It's available from Barnes & Noble, and it's available directly from lulupublishing.com. You just search the Return to Ishmael or search my name, which is David McGrath, and it will come up.
Awesome. Dave, I'm actually going to the site. You can't see it through Zoom at the moment, but I'm actually going to the book, books.amazon.com, and actually seeing it there. They got it listed on Amazon. They have it. Looks like the paperback version, and they also have it on Lulu, which I just switched screens to, which also is paperback version. Looks like it's about the same price, just about $15 US dollar. I got it. So I mean, we read it. Man, order this book, guys.
Well, I only get 10% from this book.
Tell us about that, the charity that goes with this.
Right. Basically, because I'm a huge fan of Critical Role, I wanted to pay it forward because they support a lot of charities. So, for example, 826LA, they do stuff to support our troops as well, to support US troops. Bear with me, I'll just pull up the charities so I can give you the entire list so that you know which, so I know myself which charities, because otherwise,
right. And if you have a link, Dave, you can go ahead and post that in the chat for us.
Yeah, I don't have a link.
Okay, that's fine. You can talk to us about it. That's absolutely fine.
So the charities that it will go to it's split equally between the charities. Each charity gets 10%, as well as myself. So First Book is a charity based out of Washington, D.C. Then you've got Operation Supply Drop. Then 826LA. And then the Critical Role Foundation, which is their main foundation, which supports all those charities as well. And then you've got the Mines Advisory Group, which is an international landmine clearance charity that my father founded, based here in the UK. The Pavlov Foundation, the Nature Conservancy, the Planetary Society, and Amnesty International USA. That's the charity that this book goes to support.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing.
My dad showed me a lot of things when I was growing up, and he instilled in me, whenever you get a chance to pay it forward. So
Definitely.
This is my chance to pay it forward.
I would say one thing about the book too. It's one of those where, because you said you have a few, but whether you pick up, I think, first one or the second one? It seems like you could start either way, and kind of like whether it's a prequel or is that? Would you say that or what?
You could, but the first one leads into the second book, and it will lead in, and the second one will lead into the third. I'm making sure there's a connection from the first to the second to the third.
Would you like to elaborate a little bit about your idea about the second book that might feature some sort of a character?
Yes.
Or
there will be a love interest for Max.
Ooh.
Which is going to be quite interesting, because at the moment Max is quite brash in the first book. He's got quite an ego on him, so to speak. So this character being introduced will temper that and make him see realistically what's going on around him. We will get to see more of the Master of Arms. What was considered, spoiler alert everybody, their stepfather in the first book. He will then come into the second, and there will be a few there'll be a pantheon being revealed between the second and the third book.
Ooh, all right.
So I'll be slowly introduced, because the third book needs that, which I realised the other day, which is why I was trying to sort out some plot devices. It needs the pantheon because basically, for the D&D campaign that I'll be doing for Temp, it's actually based here in Ishmir.
Oh, that's cool.
But starting in Exandria, starting in the Critical Role universe.
I like that. So I'm kind of curious, how many out there are D&D fans? Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of dabbed in that quite a bit back in my old day, so still got the dice to prove it.
Oh my gosh, I dabbed like with my cousins were huge D&D geeks. Love it. I mean, I'm talking about like in the 80s and 90s. So I was introduced to it in high school, and I mean, it's just it's a lot of fun. I mean, just being able to create the characters and get to go on these elaborate like adventures, and I mean, it's such a great way to escape reality for sure.
Yeah, it definitely is. You can actually get lost in your characters, and you actually have mental breakdowns when your character dies in game, because you spent so many hours building this character, it just and then it dies. My cousins had the pre-paper version of D&D, so with the pewter miniatures and buildings and roadways and all that.
Yeah.
But they would never ever let me play. Which is, and as I got older and as I was going through secondary school, this would have been my first time of doing a D&D campaign.
That's gonna be fun to do, man. I mean, to think about having that creativity to DM to actually do a campaign.
It's the time of the nerd, the time of the geek. I mean, if you look at some of the stuff that's online these days, it makes you panic, about what's going on in the world. But I can sit there and literally watch a 4-hour episode of Critical Role, and just because they're voice actors, you just believe their characters and who they're playing, and you just go into that mindset of, wow, I'm actually here. I can enjoy this.
Yeah, I think
it's the same. It's also the same when you play yourself. I've played a couple of one shots here and there, and that just gives you the bug, and you want to continue and do a campaign. Something that takes ages to complete, but it's never materialized. So I'm hoping to do it with Temp and everybody who wants to take part.
I may
As
have
part
to
of this
take
one.
part too. Stay tuned, everybody. I might be the first one killed off the campaign, but I'm gonna have fun doing it.
I'm more heavily onto the social aspect and
That's the fun part
the
about
role
it,
play
right?
aspect.
Yeah, I mean the role play and the collaboration with people. I love that about the community side of D&D, where you can get together and have fun with your friends and family or whoever wants to join.
Yeah.
That the creativity that goes into this game is just off the chart for me, and that a lot of us have that creative mind, and we just like to kind of engage in that. I actually grew up a gamer. Max knows this. Going back to the Atari days.
Oh my gosh, Coleco and Atari. Does anybody even know what Coleco is? It just seemed like that was like
No, I
Sega
don't
Genesis
know
and
what.
Nintendo.
I don't know what Coleco is, but my first ever console was an Atari 2600.
Yeah, I think they had Atari. Like it was 2600 was the main one. But I think they even had like a version like a 5100 or 52 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Coleco.
think-
The only one for Coleco I remember is a Smurf game. So you'll have to YouTube it. It's hilarious to look at the graphics and just see how sad they really were, but amazing back in that time.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
very
I
interesting
think
comparison.
my sister got a Spectrum ZX when they came out, and me and my sister used to play Gauntlet a lot.
Oh, that
on
Atari
the
game?
Spectrum ZX.
Not Atari. I'm sorry, it was an arcade game at first, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then it went to the Spectrum ZX. You had the one-player version, and then you had the multiplayer version.
Yes, it was Nintendo did that, I think, right? The
Yeah.
multiplayer console, you had to plug in.
Yeah, you had so many iterations after it came on the Spectrum that I think it went to Nintendo first, and I think the latest iteration of it is on the PC now, and the graphics look amazing.
Man, I can't. It's been so long since I played that game.
Was Gauntlet also on PlayStation, or was that a different original Gauntlet?
I'm not sure. It's been on so many different platforms that I'm not actually sure where it's been and where it hasn't. I know for definite it's been on the PC, and it's had several iterations on the PC.
Yeah, they have these things, of course. I forgot what they were called specifically, where they you can duplicate the system on your PC. What do you call that?
Oh, emulator.
Thank you, emulator. Console emulators. And man, I used to play there was 360 games on these things. I'm like, I went to instant 10-year-old as soon as I'm like, what? You could do all that? No.
Yeah, it's easy to do for sure.
That was fun. What were some of your favorite games, Dave?
I was more of a strategy player, so Command and Conquer, Transport Tycoon, Railway Tycoon, Airport Tycoon.
Yes. Gina can attest to that. She loves that Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah, that was another one. And then
Building the amusement parks and stuff.
Amusement parks, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I started playing. I got the original Assassin's Creed on PC, but I couldn't use keyboard and mouse. So when I eventually got a PS2, I was able to play Assassin's Creed, and ever since then I've been hooked on those games like crazy.
Wow. Yeah. Assassin's Creed was a good series of games. That was fun to play.
Oh, the latest one looks really good.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, the trailer looks amazing.
I'm going to quickly link this, by the way. I'm going to link this part to your book because there are, and I'm not going to say who, a couple of characters that have this kind of shadow assassin style character, and there's two of them, I think, at least two of them that I know, that can hide in the shadows and literally have somebody walk by, look them in the face, and cannot see them. And I'm like, this is so D&D.
Yeah.
But that was cool, man. I loved how you highlighted on the special abilities of these characters, and man, that was a lot of fun. Anyways.
Well, Max and Alexandra are trained assassins.
I'll let you spoil that one.
But to give anybody an idea, within D&D, the old style of D&D, you had to start as a rogue, and then you could either carry on the path of rogue, or I think it was level 5. I'm going to get really nerdy here now, and I apologize for everybody in chat.
That's what we're about, man. Just look at the logo with the spinning 100D, the D100.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Not going to throw nerdy under the bus or anything.
But basically, it was at level 5 where you could follow the path of the assassin. And you got more, you still got your rogue abilities, but you got more if you went the assassin path, you got more stealthy, more technical, more murder hobo-y if you wanted to. You know, you could pop up and just stab someone in the back of the neck and then just disappear.
Man, I loved how they picked up the tool ability to pick locks and detect traps, and that was cool. They had a good mixed ability, which I liked.
I preferred playing rogue. Most of my D&D characters were rogues because I couldn't stand the early wizards because it was too many things to remember. Rogues were just easy. Rogues and barbarians for me in D&D.
You know, I ended up playing a character that was a monk. Probably the most difficult character to build up along the way.
Which version of D&D though?
Advanced.
Oh no. That's where they were really difficult to build.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Advanced D&D, that level of monk. But that was what was curious to me because I liked the challenge and I wanted to be able to build up the most challenging character to make it more of a, I didn't know he could do that, or I like the surprise factor.
When you get to a certain level with a monk in advanced D&D, you've got some capabilities of knocking people left, right, and center. But
that was so fun.
It was getting there. That was the thing. I had friends who played monks, and I just used to say to them, "How can you do this character? Why don't you go for a rogue?" He goes, and my friends would say, "No, I love the challenge," and I think that's also part of it with Dungeons and Dragons as well.
But that's just it, man. The fun behind it, which again, you got your community, friends, family, and a lot of them are saying like, "Why are you choosing a monk, dude? It's going to take forever to develop you. You're like dead weight to us." And I'm like, trust me, give it time. He's going to have some skills along the way. He might even save your butts. So be careful.
Here's something. Now, I hope I get this right, but here's something that I didn't even know. The late, great Gary Gygax, who invented D&D, is also the founder of Gen Con.
Yes, he had a part to play in that. I forgot there was another person that had a part of interest, but
because that's where the first live D&D stuff happened, when he was still alive at Gen Con.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, TSR were bought out by Wizards of the Coast, and they've carried it on ever since.
Carrie, did you have a question? Looks like you said something about you having issues with Stream Elements. If you want to go ahead and type it in chat, I'll see if I can't read it. I'll read it for you. But yeah, so the other thing that some of us... Ooh, that lightning is getting close.
Harsh lightning.
That we used to go to, Max can attest to this too, Comic-Cons, and being able to kind of explore that side of our nerddom. Gina actually participated in a couple of them. I think we went as Superman and Wonder Woman, did we? Or something else. I can't remember. No, Jedi and you were Princess Leia?
We did. Princess Slave.
Max, you can also attest to this.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to several cons all over. They're a lot of fun. I've never cosplayed. I enjoy taking the photos of everybody. But,
I've never actually been to a con.
Really?
Well, you need to come over here to the West Coast.
We only get them in the UK. We only get them really in London and Birmingham, which are our two major cities here in England. And every time I've gone to get tickets, they've been sold out months in advance. So,
awesome.
There's Comic-Con and where's the MegaCon, right?
So, I mean, there's cons in every state, but the big one here in the US is Comic-Con that's down in San Diego, which they've just had last month. And those they sell out pretty fast. You actually have to kind of get a membership or an ID. It's a process. But on the East Coast, the one that Zaiden's talking about, we went to MegaCon in Orlando, which is a big one. And I know Dragon Con's pretty big in Georgia. But yeah, I mean, they're all over. So here in Seattle, that's where I'm at right now. We have Emerald Con.
Yeah, they have a huge parade in Atlanta too. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so they're they're phenomenal. I mean, even I was just thinking, it's your book would go straight up one of those alleys, as far as they have artist alleys at all the Comic Cons. And I mean, I see artists all the time that are developing books, novels, comics, and just getting themselves out there. It's great.
I'm one of those nerds who's not comfortable with a lot of people in public spaces. So, I'm one of those shy nerds who sort of doesn't want to be heaped praise upon and all that sort of stuff. It's weird with me. I sort of go quiet until I know somebody or have interacted with somebody to feel comfortable. So Comic-Con would be a big thing for me, I think.
Yeah, I think it can definitely get overwhelming. I mean, there's thousands of people, so yeah, I can totally understand that perspective of it. That's why you need someone to if you need someone in your corner, you can be in the back. I'll be in the front for you. We're gonna sell your book. We're gonna make it happen. Let's do it.
We'll have our little section too for you. Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's already sold 50, which is amazing to me. It's not a big number, but that's amazing. Awesome. Seeing as it's been sat there since for a long time not selling, and that's down to this community.
Yeah, so real quick, Carrie put a question. Thank you for your donation too for that, Carrie. Thank you so much. So Carrie asks this question: is the book available through Audible?
No. Not yet.
I like to say not yet.
Because I am looking into getting somebody to record it as an audiobook. But I want to do it in the style, and I don't know if you remember these, Zaiden, but do you remember the old Star Wars drama audios that you could get back in the day?
Oh my gosh, I had the tapes that went with the books.
Yeah, I want it to be like that.
Oh, that would be interesting.
But it would take a cast of people to achieve that, if you know what I mean. So maybe if I can get the movie done, I could then sort of arm lock the cast of, okay, now we're going to record it as an audio drama. I'll put it in there. I'll put it in their contract that it has to be recorded as an audio drama.
Oh please, that would be so epic. Oh my god, do it.
And again, with that, I would see if I could divide the revenue. Again, anything to do with these books, I want to make sure the revenue can be divided between those charities, and that includes the movie.
That's amazing. Hey, honestly, that's huge kudos and respect to you, buddy. Not many people will go to that length to actually put a good share into these charities like that for book sales, and because everybody's having his money tight sometimes these days, and they're like, okay, well, I got to put the money in my pocket, I got to survive. But you are going the extra length to actually pay it forward, which is an incredible story in itself.
Yeah, I mean, the thing for me is, my writing has always been therapeutic. It's not money making for me. The only reason why I self-published it,
good point,
was because I wanted to see if anybody else wanted to read it. It wasn't about selling the book. It was about, will people enjoy it? Because
then let me ask you this question: Are you surprised the fact that you got so many people interested, including myself, in your writing?
I'm not ashamed to admit this. When I saw 50 sales, I cried myself. I cried to myself.
Oh man,
it got me really emotional, because to me that was, I think I posted it in the Telegram group. It was 200 and some pound that was going to those 9 charities.
Yeah,
that's not much, but it's still money going towards charity, which is the main thing for me.
That's awesome.
So you see Mel's comment? He's saying he might be able to help PC out with someone to record it.
Ooh, Mel, we'll have to link up in Telegram. We'll have to link up in Telegram.
Awesome.
Discuss it with you in Telegram.
Hey, I volunteer my services too, so
be in there.
I'll be available.
Max has got some voice acting behind her, so
I would want Liam O'Brien and Laura Bailey to play Max and Alexandra in the audiobook.
Awesome.
Because they played Vex and Vax in Critical Role season in their first campaign, and they've got that brother sister dynamic down. So it would have to be those two for me.
Yeah, Lauren's a sweetheart. I actually met her at a Comic-Con, several years ago. She was like one of the first voice actors that I actually met. So yeah, that's amazing. She'd be amazing.
I did not know she was Kid Trunks in Dragon Ball Z. That was a shock to me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh, she's done so many roles. My favorite was her as Toru Honda in Fruits Basket. That was like my go-to anime.
My favorite one, and this goes to a panel with Travis and Laura that I watched, was she played Lust in Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Of course, Travis played Roy Mustang. So basically, Travis got to kill Laura in the anime, kill her character in the anime. And he's at a panel and he goes, when I went into that booth, he goes, I had to take the headphones off because Laura had screamed that bad. It was like he was stood in the booth going, honey, are you okay? Are you okay? He went into husband mode.
That's so cool. That's so funny. Oh,
but her and Laura and Travis were also in Infamous and Infamous Second Son as well, and that's another one of my favorite PS war games.
That's cool, man. Of course, I haven't got the PS5 yet, man. That thing is so expensive, but I've seen some pretty cool titles out there.
The thing is with the PS5, I don't know what anybody else thinks on the panel, but here in the UK, they sold out both the digital version and the disc version. They sold out immediately. They were gone. And I have always said I will not have a digital version of a console because you don't own the game. Even though you spent the money to have it, you don't actually own the game. So if your account gets banned, you've lost every game you've purchased.
Isn't that
I'd rather
crazy?
have the game. I'd rather have the game on disc.
Yeah, everything's kind of geared towards that, right? Like you where it
Yeah.
used to be where you can buy it on disc, then you could download it, of course, and then it still would be yours. And now we have kind of like a subscription almost based rent. We'll call it rental rather than ownership,
Yeah.
because you're right, we don't really have rights to those games permanently.
I got into a massive argument with a friend of mine because I said to him, if I'm going to buy a PS5, I think the PS5 over here was, well, still is, close to £800.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I'm waiting for the disc version. He goes, get the digital one. And bearing in mind, they're selling the digital one £300 cheaper here in the UK, which doesn't make sense to me. And
Wow.
I said to him, I will never own a digital console because you do not own the games. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Okay, what happens if you do something, if they claim that you do something wrong and they ban your account? They ban your account off their system completely. You've lost all your games.
So
You can't play it.
Mel makes an interesting point here, because I don't think even we have the rights in the U.S. If you're allowed to make when you buy, it looks like here she's saying you have an option to buy the disc still in the U.K.
Yeah, because our trading standards basically said they saw what Sony were trying to do, and they said no, you still have to give the option of a disc. That's why we have PlayStation 5 discs and PlayStation 4 discs still. The reason why I would purchase a PlayStation 5, it's backwards compatible for PS3, PS2, and PS1 games, as well as PS4.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I hated too. The new ones would come out and you can't play old stuff on it. So, why did you buy all the other ones and now you can't even play those?
Yeah, that was frustrating.
I loved the old Ace Combat games, the aircraft fighter games.
Oh yeah, those were fun. Those were fun.
And Ace Combat 7 is VR compatible with the PS5. I want to try it in VR. So I'll be looking forward to that. But yeah, digital consoles, no. Don't trust them as far as I can throw them.
So I'm getting some direct messages. FYI, it looks like we're having a problem with the Streamlabs super comment thing. I guess you could, option-wise, if you want to go through the other things like Cash App and leave a comment, or if you want to do the PayPal, which some of us, or one of us in the chat did that. Carrie, thank you. And I think there was another one, I can't remember. But anyways, those are the three primary things we're using at the moment. But Cash App and PayPal is an alternative source if you want to go ahead and post any questions in there or in the chat here. Again, I'm not forcing you guys to have to, donate money, but it does help with the channel. So, and it helps keep our equipment updated so we can give you stuff, updated, content. We're a little as you can tell, we're a little bit, I'm pushing this system to the limit, y'all. I'm just telling you right now to keep things going. But I appreciate, of course, everybody that you guys doing your thing and helping out. So appreciate that. But yeah, so as far as like the consoles, man, preferably I'm more of a PC gamer now. If I ever get back into it more long term, but I'd have to say that I hear you. Like, there's a lot of frustration with console players because of the fact that ownership rights are more a question now as far as the games. Whereas PC, you can download material and still be able to play things as if it was yours. Which that was always what appealed to me the most.
But even with Steam, Zaiden, it's the same thing with Steam.
It's coming. It's getting to that, isn't it? Yeah.
It's there now. I would still want the disc.
Wow.
Because if they ban it's the same thing, Zaiden. If you've bought, say, 50 games on Steam and they ban your account for whatever reason, you've lost those games.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a good point.
It's like, can you imagine it's like your phone contract, you know. I don't know the networks in America. I know you may have some similar to ours, but the thing is, it's like paying your mobile phone network monthly. It's the same thing with the digital products for consoles or for PC games now.
Who is anybody here still a gamer? Like, I mean, obviously lately I haven't been on as much because obviously everything else is, you know, gobbling up my time. But I know. And there's somebody in the chat. Amy?
Yeah.
Sorry, I got your name wrong. Amy? Oh, I'm sorry, Max, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I mean, really, honestly, the only thing I play are like goofy phone games. So like Subway Surfer, I've been like invested like 3 hours like before I go to sleep. Nothing like, I haven't done PC games in a very long time. I mean, I think a lot of it right now is that, I mean, I think it depends on the person and what you're doing. I mean, I work so much that it's more like a little video game on the phone is like enough just to kind of like get me ready to go to sleep. So, but yeah, I really haven't invested in games. Not like I used to. I mean, I used to really be in the games a long time ago, but I'm old now, old and boring.
You're as young as you to be. That's how I put it.
As young as you feel. As young as you want to be. All right. I like that.
Or as young as you feel, or as young as the person that you're with is. So, you know.
True.
Awesome. Well, on that note, guys, we'll go ahead and close up shop. But what a great turnout today, guys. Thanks for showing up. Everybody give some kudos to Dave for his book. I'm going to go ahead and share that screen one more time. So everybody if you get the opportunity, let's buy his book. And of course, if my computer would just catch up with me, that would be great. There we go. So you can go on to Lulu, which you can find his book there. Just a little over 15 pounds US, or $15 US.
15
How do you
pounds.
combine all the
that's a large book.
Things are changing.
You never know, right?
The upper body strength. Yes.
Upper body strength, which is my mind. Working on it. So also we got Amazon. You can get his book there, which again, just over $15. Great book, by the way. Dave, you did a great job. Hands off to you, man. Clapping hands, hats off, the whole 9 yards. Any last words before we exit? We'll start with you, Dave. If you want to plug anything or whatever you want to do, man.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to the community. Thank you for everybody supporting this, because it's a labour of love of mine. And it pays it forward for these charities to help give them a little bit of support in the hard times that we face. Also, thank you to Zaiden for this interview. It's amazing, brother.
My pleasure.
To base it on and share the background of this book. And I will, once I've finished writing the second book, I will send you and Gina a personal signed copy. So
yeah,
I like that.
That'd be awesome.
I'll let you know when it's ready, and then I'll let you know when it's up, and then
we would all love to hear that, my friend. That would be cool.
We'll work something out, and I'll send you a signed copy.
You're amazing. Thank you, Dave. Is there any plugs you want to put in, or do you have you said you had I'm sorry, go ahead, a podcast or something, right?
Well, yeah, my podcast is PC Tech Radio. We talk everything repairing, upgrading, and building computers. I am currently upgrading our equipment so we can live stream. And I'm looking to sort of fiddle about with live streaming on YouTube and seeing what we can do. But the podcast will still be having episodes go up. It is available on YouTube. Just search PC Tech Radio, or if you go to anchor.fm, you will be able to find it on there as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Dave. I'm actually gonna obviously post that in chat as well, your YouTube channel. So wonderful job, Dave. Thank you again for coming on and sharing your fantastic book, my friend.
To you and Gina for having me. You know, it's this community that sort of, you know, come forward and sort of picked me up and basically said, look, we'll support you. So I thank everybody for that, because it's just been amazing.
Our pleasure. And there it is, guys. His YouTube channel right there, Scott20. Go ahead and go over there and get him some subscriptions. Get him, support this guy. He's been fantastic. Got a great creative mind. I just posted the link in chat for you guys if you want to check him out. To be continued there. So Dave, we're going to be looking forward to that. Let's go ahead and move on over to our other wonderful guest, Max. Go ahead and close out. What's going on?
Oh, close out.
Well, whatever you want to do.
I just wanted to say, yeah, Dave, it was really nice getting to know you. I'm looking forward to reading your book. And I will definitely be sharing that, because I'm a Game of Thrones fan. I know a lot of people that are, and this is like right up their alley. So
yeah, if you ever get to bump into Laura Bailey again,
yeah,
I do have a personal request. I know it's a bit of a weird one. But if you could ask her if I could send the Critical Role version of the book to Matt to see what he thinks, and if he likes it, they can then publish it and do what they need to do.
Yeah, if I do, definitely. I'll have to drop some names and try to find them and get them on board. That would be awesome.
Well, like I said, I love Critical Role. I'm a fan of theirs, but it was nice meeting you as well, Max. It's been a good day today.
Yeah, absolutely. A great day.
Awesome. Well, Max, any other last comments before we move along?
No. Thanks for having me on today. This was awesome. I look forward to being on here maybe more often.
Maybe next Wednesday, y'all. We might have some wrestling stories for you.
Yeah, we have a lot of wrestling stories.
I haven't even heard all of those. I may have heard one or two, so I'm looking forward to hearing some of those stories.
Any embarrassing wrestling stories?
Oh, there's probably
They're all
plenty.
Embarrassing.
All right, I got to hear from the crowd here. Chat, give me a 1 in the chat if you want to hear some embarrassing and fun stories with Zaiden and Max, with Gina witnessing. And of course, Dave, if he's tagging along, sure, absolutely. Give me some 1s if you want to see some wrestling stories on behalf of yours truly.
If you want to see him blush for other reasons.
Oh my God, I'm gonna
turn red for other reasons.
Oh yeah, you just say one word and he would turn red. It's funny. It's great.
Y'all know me too much. Big tomato. That's what I'll turn into.
Well, I would definitely want to hear those stories.
Yeah, we'll come up with some good ones.
Nope, we're getting a lot of ones.
Here comes the ones. All right. You guys will get it next Wednesday, 1 week from today. Get some wrestling stories. We'll have Max back on. We'll get Gina back on here. It's gonna be a fun time, and we'll just go from there. Play it by ear, but definitely Wednesday. Stay tuned next week. Don't forget about Friday night, Midnight Madness.
Yes. Which
always 12 o'clock midnight Eastern time, so stay tuned for that, and the follow-up for Saturday's Lunch Rush. So, of course, those that miss out can be included. That's where we have a massive live call-in for Midnight Madness and Saturday's Lunch Rush, so everybody can get included. So, looking forward to that this Friday. Max, thank you for joining. Dave, fantastic interview. Thank you for having you along. I'm fumbling on my words here.
Thanks for allowing me to share this, Zaiden and Gina. It's been amazing. Thank you.
Gina, go ahead and close out with your comments. What would you like to say, my wonderful wife?
Thanks again for joining us and your support for his book. Hey, maybe next time on one of the Midnight Madnesses, it'll be a chat about the book with all of us once we start reading that. Yeah, it'll just be a fun night of games and just
Talk maybe
enjoying
about
each
some
other,
D&D or whatever,
the
yeah.
connections that we make. So you guys have a wonderful day.
That's excellent. All right, yeah, guys, that will close us out. I will go ahead and move along to our closing screen. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. If you like what you see and you want more of it, go ahead and click on those buttons. Helps the channel grow. Obviously, we want to give you the best stuff out there. And of course, if you want to donate, leave a comment. We do have those 3 donation links for you through Cash App, PayPal if you choose to do that, and of course you have to log in for that. And of course we also have the Streamlabs. I'll have that fixed up so we can read your comments as well. But any donations does help get this channel going and the equipment updated so we can give you the best stuff available. With that said, thank you to our wonderful guests out there, and of course in our panel today, Gina, Max, Dave, thank you, and everybody out there in the chat world of the Gauche. Thank you once again for tuning in. I'm your host, Zaiden, at the Gauche. Peace out.